Hello and welcome to tonight's SBC News. In its recent meeting, the Cabinet of Ministers approved to amend the Social Security Act, Benefits Regulations 2020, and a number of other legal and policy memoranda.
The Cabinet of Ministers approved to amend the Social Security Act, Benefits Regulations 2010, to increase the retirement age from 63 to 65 years and to amend the retirement pension age to 65 years old on the 1st of January 2023. According to a communiqué from State House, the Cabinet also approved the establishment of an early retirement pension mechanism from the age of 60 years old, which will also come into effect on the 1st of January 2023 as part of the comprehensive review of the Seychelles Pension Fund Act. This was during the last Cabinet meeting chaired by President Wavell Ramkalawan. The Cabinet also discussed proposals for the revision of GOP fees for expatriates at managerial and executive level and emphasized on the need to create the right environment for qualified Seychellois workers to be employed in managerial and executive positions in the private sector. And among other issues was also the briefing of the central bank's plan to set up a disaster recovery site as part of its business continuity management system framework, a plan that will ensure that the financial services sector can continue critical business functions following a disaster. And finally, the Cabinet also approved the setting up of a single national functional assessment board in order to streamline the assessment procedures for eligibility of invalidity and disability benefits. The new framework will emphasize access to support and fairness for citizens with special needs.
The Committee on Government Assurances of the National Assembly visited La Digue recently. The aim of the visit was to oversee the implementation of some road and drainage projects in relation to assurances made in the National Assembly. They visited 3 roads, the L'Union Land Bank, Boule de Neige and Vanilla roads, and a drainage project at a housing estate at La Paz. The committee was accompanied by the MNA for the Inner Islands, Rocky Urani, and Terry Volse, a representative from the STLTA on Pralin. Seychelles will, as next week, be welcoming back cruise ships in its waters after the activity stopped over a year ago due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The first cruise ship launching the cruise ship season will arrive in Port Victoria next week on the 18th. This new season comes with a few changes, amongst which passengers will be arriving by plane and will board the ship to take a tour only around local islands and will not be touring other islands in the region, as was the case before. The authority has also introduced a new portal tracking down information and the itinerary of every passenger aboard the ships. The Principal Secretary of Civil Aviation, Ports and Marine, Alain Renaud, says that there are already 5 ships that have confirmed their participation.
What has happened in the ensuing 2 years is the cruise ship industry has made a lot of changes. They've adapted their procedures. We've created new procedures, and of course, we've learned a lot about how COVID is spread. And one of the biggest factors has been, of course, vaccinations. We are now very comfortable in the sense of weary comfort, that we are ready and prepared, and that we have all the contingencies in place to welcome cruise ships. Cruise ships are a very important part of our tourism industry, and we are one of the few island nations that have reopened their borders for cruise ships. We think we've done the risk assessment very well, and we'll monitor and see how things go, whether we should be more strict or less strict. But either way, Seychelles is open and ready for the cruise ship industry, and we are delighted. And some of the cruise ships have submitted their applications not just for this year, but for several years to come.
More specialization opportunities for nurses to improve services, the COVID situation in regard to the nursing profession are some of the issues members on the committee of the Nurses Association of Seychelles discussed with the President Wavell Ramkalawan this morning at State House. The meeting, which lasted for more than 2 hours, was a courtesy call that the association traditionally makes when a new president takes office.
All nurses in Seychelles, once they have completed their courses, they exit with a diploma in general nursing. But this has been going on for some past years, and we have seen, based on the current disease trends and reemergence of new diseases, we need more nurses to be specialized in different fields, not only in primary health care nursing, but at the same time hospital care nursing, especially oncology, neurology, nephrology, in fact, community nursing in prevention itself. So it's more or less the discussion was surrounded by this main topic when it comes for specializations of nurses in different health sectors or health aspects.
The NGO Nature Seychelles was the other organization that paid a courtesy visit on President Ramkalawan at State House. Nature Seychelles has undertaken several rehabilitation and conservation for the environment. It was the chairman of Nature Seychelles, Antoine-Marie Moustache, its CEO, Nimal Jivan-Shah, the treasurer of the NGO, Mike King-Harman, and Ruby Padiwala, an ordinary member of the organization, who met with the president. Mr. Jivan-Shah said that the discussions with President Ramkalawan focused on the help that this NGO could bring to the country. And that's it for now. In less than an hour's time, it will be the Creole News. Have a very pleasant evening.